And in this lesson, we're going to take a look at how we can use Photoshop to restore some of our old images and use the AI to remove all of the information, the scratches, and try to reconstruct some of it if we want as well. So what you can do, again, we have the source files for you. You can go ahead and just click on old photos start, and inside of that we'll have this image here. Now you can see this image is clearly kind of got scratches and dusts and grain and everything inside there, and it's really simple on how to do this. All you got to do is just make sure that your layer is unlocked. So if you want, just double click on it and then you'll get the option to unlock the layer. Go to filter, neural filters, and it's going to be as simple as going all the way down. Make sure you have the restoration photo downloaded, and then just click the switch on button. And before you know it, give it a few seconds to for the AI to do its thing, and then you can see here it's done as much as it can to kind of restore the photo. But we still have the scratches and the tear and the folds still in place. So you can see here under scratch reduction, I'm just going to drag that up to about 20. And again, I'm just going to let it do its thing. And once Photoshop's finished, you'll see all the scratches removed. So give it a second. Once it's processing all the items there, the AI is trying to figure out where the scratches are, and obviously once it figures out where the scratches are, it's going to use its algorithm to try and replace it with something that's supposed to be there, rather than just kind of just flat out remove it, essentially. So almost there, we're at 45%. It's there, it's finished, and you can see here it's done a great job. Obviously you've got some weird artifacts happening here, but luckily it's on an outside bit of the picture, so we can use a brush to just brush that off. Otherwise I can just go push that further to about 30 and just see if it does it any better. And just wait for that to reprocess at 30. Now again, like I said, it does take a lot of computing power, so if you do find that your Photoshop isn't capable, just do check your system requirements and make sure that Photoshop AI tools can actually run on your system. But more or less, a lot of the stuff does happen via the cloud, so Adobe does actually send the information to the cloud and Adobe servers, and it does all the algorithm for you, and then it sends it back. But once it's done that once, it then does all the rest of the processing, I believe, on the device. I might be wrong, but as on this case, you can see the first time we ran it, it says it's processing on cloud, but then the second time we run it, it says it's processing on device, which can only mean that it's processing on my computer now. But I'm not sure if it's stuck on 28%, but we'll give that a second to do its thing. And you can see here, even when we push up to 30, it's removed that previous one, but now it's added all of this one here. So it's very difficult. So sometimes you might get a better result at a different level, or like I said, we can just use the AI to clean this up now, which we're going to do. Oh, and you can see the line right in front of her face. Let's try and just go back to about 15 here. Please just do bear in mind that this does take a lot of processing power. So your computer might slow down, and if it does, just be patient, or initially don't go overboard and push the numbers up quite high, because that will really do some damage there. But again, you can see it's done a very good job now that we've gone back down to the lower numbers. We can play about with this a little bit more. Let's see, hopefully it won't crash anything, but I'm going to try and push it to 20 first. Let's see what that does. And you can see it's smoothing it out a little bit more. Let's try and push it up a little bit more. Yeah, now it's getting to the point where it's becoming a little bit more cartoony, which we don't. So we're going to go back to about 6 or something, and just keep it at a nice number there. And obviously this is not going to be a problem. It's quite nice to have the grain there, but we definitely do not want this there. There is one other thing we can also do. You can see here this colorize option. what that will do is Photoshop will try to color your black and white photos. It might not always get the right colors, but we'll give it a go and let's see what it looks like. So if I just turn that on, and you can see here it's done semi-good. I mean, he's got the skin color quite right. Obviously, there's a slight fade off onto where the lips are, but again, we can correct that should we need to. But I'm not going to use that. I'm going to turn it off. There we go. Yep, so I'm going to click OK. And there we have it, right? So with literally a single click, we went from the previous photo, which if I go back to, where's the, oh, I've done it on the same layer, so I can't go back. But if I go back, if I Control Z it, then ultimately what that will do is it will go back to the previous damaged photo. But if I go forward, then you can see how it's cleaned the photo. So it's a great tool for restoring photos if you need to. But yeah, hopefully that was an interesting one for you. So let's hop over to the next lesson where we'll start to use the generative AI tool to really ramp the AI part of this up. So I'll see you there. Cheers.